Is this the spot to hang out right here?
We got a roof. We got a view.
You got nuts to munch on?
Listen to the rain.
You can't say that.
Come on.
Hey, camera guy. Yo, Nutty. Bye, bro.
All right, we're back for another episode of building the Nantahala retreat. Pouring rain. We're gonna see what we can do today.
You know, it rains a lot out here at Nantahala.
It does.
I think it was actually a tropical rainforest, wasn't it? Not tropical, but a rainforest. Wasn't this area a legit rainforest?
Go, baby, go!
On top of that slick mud, bub.
No. Oh, no.
So we're gonna make the best out of this rainy day by fixing the things we failed on our framing inspection and then installing our fireplace. So here's the first thing. We did this thing where we just crippled in the backside of one layer of 2x12 header, and that was so that we could insulate these without being real smart, right?
Yeah, real smart. Now we got to redo it.
Yeah, but we didn't end up having a rim board on this floor system, which acts kind of as a secondary header. So the combination of floor load, roof load is too much for single ply, so we got to cut all these cripples out, add a second ply of 2x12 as a header, yep, right there. We're gonna do that. That was something we failed on our inspection. Let's check out this header. This one is fine because it's just a roof load. And so this is gonna carry that fine. It's just these ones that have a roof and a floor load. Our first step was to just get rid of the cripples because they're now in our way. And next we could insulate between the layers of the wood with some of this leftover rigid foam off the back of our Zip R sheathing. And we did 3 layers in the headers, and there's 1 layer also on the outside of the wall for a total of 4 at R3 each, which gives us an R12 header, which is actually pretty good. Little update here, we're in a tropical storm. That's why it's dark in there where we're filming.
Yeah.
The other reason it's dark, no power. The power's out because trees around here just like fall down when it rains a lot. So we got no hot lunch, no lights, and the road may be blocked by huge trees. Bring your chainsaw?
No.
Me neither. Number 2, we're finally gonna do this cabinet blocking. We're gonna block for the top and bottom of the upper cabinets. They're 40 inches tall, and so we're gonna block at 54 and 94. Center are blocking on that. So you can screw the bottom and top of these cabinets to the wall anywhere. So this type of blocking is not required by code in any way, but I think it's a great idea to make installing the kitchen a lot easier and better. And let me give you, for instance, if you had a 9-inch upper cabinet, 9 inches wide, there's a good chance it may not hit on any vertical stud. So the only way to attach it is to the cabinets on either side, and that's not going to be as strong as fastening it to the wall as well. I'm toe-nailing most of these blocks in with a framing nailer and 3-inch nails so it will hold well. And when you're shooting like this, the force of the nail going through the block can tend to move the block when you're toe-nailing. So what I'm doing first, and this is a pro tip, is I'm shooting through the framing member that cannot move, like the top plate or the stud first, into the block that will hold it in position flush. Then I'm toe-nailing through the block into that framing member. Check this out. We're gonna do this bottom blocking. UCL, under cabinet light, right?
Sure.
And there's a tick mark there, but there's also a tick mark there, and that was the correct one. So there was just a little confusion. Somebody put all these UCLs about 8 inches higher than we need them, and so we're gonna move all those down before we do the blocking. Jono's the dentist, by the way. Look at this. If you need some teeth pulled, boom. And hey, I just want to make it clear that our electricians are great. They do a great job, they get their work done fast, and they wired this whole house while Jaime and I were out of town and unable to kind of verify locations, and that might have been part of the confusion here. Once all of our wires were moved, we could go ahead with this bottom row of blocking. You can see here that we just chalked a center line for the blocking, so it's not perfectly straight, but it really doesn't matter since it's inside the wall. So hey, that was a good catch because that would have been a real pain to have those wires come out of our drywall 8 inches vertically from where they're supposed to. Got it all fixed up now. We're working on a piece of blocking now that we don't even usually do.
What is it?
We're gonna block behind where the microwave is going, because you know those brackets they always come on? where you have to screw the bracket
Oh, yeah,
to the
that
wall.
bracket.
And they give you those big like sheetrock anchors.
Suck.
Yeah, so
We're gonna hook this guy up.
Yeah, we're gonna block solid right there.
Yeah, we are.
Save some trouble later.
We're just gonna block everything. We're just gonna block everything in the stud in the whole house, just
not
in
gonna do
case.
that.
Want to hang a picture? Go right ahead.
Solid.
Anywhere you want. Solid blocking everywhere.
Jono was reminding us, we've actually had people tell us where they're gonna hang pictures, right?
Yes.
And we block for them. And then what happens?
I ended up hanging the pictures.
What a guy!
Yeah, that was no
What
fun.
a guy.
Yes.
Next order of business, and I got a headlamp on, that's that weird thing going on. Draft stop, we're gonna put that at the top plate level right there, and that does what you would think it does. It stops a draft from getting in the fireplace chase to up in your rafter system. So this draft stop was the other thing we failed on our framing inspection. We hadn't done it yet, and so we failed on that. Obviously it wasn't there. What we have to do here is seal off the inside of this chase from the roof system, and an easy place to do that is right at the double top plate, because there the wall is already sealed off with the double top plate. In other places we have to do blocking to seal the wall off, which is fire blocking, by the way, and then we add a piece of plywood to the bottom of that to seal the whole thing. And plywood is flammable, I know that, but this is a draft stop. It's not a fire stop. I'm using our DeWalt cordless framing nailer. I really like this gun. It's a little lighter, but I hate the clip. Like if you clip it on something, it just does that and falls off usually. So I don't like the clip at all. You know what time it is. Let's take a break to thank our sponsor for today, M-Teeth. And I love having clean teeth. In fact, I'm fanatical about it. It's the very first thing I do when I get up. Today we're highlighting the M-Teeth X5 series, which has a 90-day battery life, which is a 6-hour charge. That means I can charge it and throw it in my truck, and I can brush my teeth for 3 months after meals at the job. The brush heads and the handle on the X5 series are also polished, which means they won't get scratched, and if they get dirty, they wash off super easy. It also has an IPX7 waterproofing rating, which means you can brush your teeth in the shower. I'm not gonna show you B-roll of that, by the way. The X5 comes with 3 brush heads out of the box, and it has 3 different sonic brush modes, so you can brush your teeth however you like to brush your teeth. So right now, M-Teeth is offering 20% off on their Amazon store, but if you're a fan of this channel and use the link in the description, you get an extra 30% off for a total of 50%, if my math is right, making this toothbrush only about $30-ish. So don't forget to check out the link in the description. It's only good for the first 150 people that click it, so you're gonna have to act fast. Thanks again to M-Teeth for sponsoring this video. We really appreciate it. Let's get back to the action.
Yep.
All right, we're finally into this thing. We needed instructions to figure out how to get in here to get the instructions, I think. But now we got them right there. So if you're gonna install one of these, make sure to follow the instructions. Obviously, this is a fire hazard. The way we're gonna do this doesn't mean it's the way all of them go in. We're gonna do specifically what this one says. We ordered this firebox from efireplacestore.com, and that's what we usually do. We seem to get them pretty quickly, and we haven't had any issues, and that's why we do it from them. And it got shipped freight on a Mack truck. We picked it up at the NOC because they couldn't get a Mack truck up here. This fireplace is a propane burning model, and it's called a direct vent, and there's different types of these. One kind is called a non-vented, and it doesn't have a vent at all to the outside, but you get more heat from that type, and there's also a type called a B-vent. This direct vent model has a piece of glass completely covering the firebox, which separates the combustion from the air in your house completely, and it actually draws air from the outside into the firebox from a pipe that's around your exhaust pipe for the firebox. Checking out all of our venting parts, and this is going to be on the outside of the house somewhere. And here's what we're thinking about. It's either, right here somewhere. Only thing is we've got a light and there's gonna be a speaker mounted there. So that may kind of look cluttered. Or we're gonna go around the corner and it's gonna be out here, which there's nothing, so that's fine, but you'll be able to see it like from the front door. So we're just gonna think about that a minute and then make a decision.
I don't know. It's hard to decide, really.
It is. It's one of them things where it doesn't really matter either way.
It doesn't really matter, and one is not really better than the other, I don't think.
Not necessarily.
And it's subjective.
Okay. What is it about rain that makes you want to do nothing?
It does make me want to do something. Makes me want to sleep. I seriously could fall asleep right here so easily.
I don't think the heavy stuff's gonna come down for a minute though. We're not gonna install this thing today because we don't have our high temp sealant with us that we have to have. But we'll show you how it works, okay?
Yeah. All right. You want me to show you how it works?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, look. There's 2 pipes in there. This thing has got an inner pipe right here, which
Okay.
is the exhaust.
Yep.
That means the hottest air is going to be in this inner pipe. And it's sort of insulated, if you will, from the framing and everything in there by the outer pipe, which brings in fresh air around it like that. Now there's these cool little springy looking things that actually hold these separated from each other so that they don't like go to one side or the other or touch. But
So
it's
that's
actually
exhaust and an intake around it.
it's actually pretty genius the way it's designed, and that way it keeps a flow of cooler air all the way around the exhaust, which is going to be hot all the
And it
time.
doesn't pull air from your house,
That's right. It only
to
burns
combust.
outside air.
which is pretty nice.
Yeah,
So that's how it's gonna work.
pretty slick.
But we're not gonna put it in because we don't have the sealant. And we're actually gonna get some crimpers. Let me show them that. This pipe right here, we cannot get it to go more than a 1/4 inch in, no matter what we do. And we do have pipe crimpers at the shop. We're just put some very small crimps in this so that we can get this to go in there.
It's like a shrinker. It'll actually reduce the diameter of this for the smallest amount.
Yeah,
Ever
so-
so slightly.
Because of that, we're gonna go home or to the bike shop.
And because it's raining and we're really tired.
That's how it works. It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know
fantastic.
why am I even still trying to put this on?
I don't know. NOC. And we're back. It's a couple days later. We got our crimps, so we're able to crimp this and shrink the diameter just a little bit so that it will fit in here like it should. And I want to say that I don't know why, but a lot of venting components don't really go together well when you get them. So maybe they're assuming you have some of those crimps and that you're going to make everything work. But this is a pretty common thing. We also have our high temp silicone sealant, so we can seal up all the joints like we're supposed to, and the instructions. So now we can put this fireplace in. This is Tyler, by the way. He's going to be in our next video. Well, and he's in this video too from
2 videos.
erigging.com. You'll see why he's in the next video. Okay, we're mocking up our fire stop piece that goes to the wall, and we got the height by bending this to kind of a radius that works, measuring the height, marking this on the wall. Now we're gonna put in some blocks. Our first step here was to install some framing that would give us a rough opening, in essence, for this shroud that will let the exhaust and the intake pipe go through this exterior wall. Next, we had to completely remove the wall sheathing and the siding from within this area, and we're using a Sawzall blade here that Jono calls the Axe, and it's about 8 or 9 inches long. And even though I've done a ton of venting projects like this in the past, it's never fun to have to cut a giant hole in the side of your finished looking house. And I guess that's why no one else was volunteering to do it. Hey, what's up, man? Next, we could check our fit with this inside piece. And you'll notice it actually has a standoff, which is that little vertical piece of metal, to ensure there's no combustible material within 2 inches vertically of the exhaust pipe. Next, we use an oscillating tool to remove enough siding to where the outside termination would fit all the way tight to the sheathing instead of having gaps around this lap siding. After installing the inside piece of piping, which is the vent, we wrap these springs around it that will space evenly the outside pipe, which is the intake, and then we could seal it and clamp it on. And finally, with everything connected, we could install our pipe and our outside termination all as one piece. I want to say that doing installs like this is a pretty stressful thing to me because you have to follow the instructions so carefully and so perfectly that it becomes a little taxing. But I don't want anyone else cutting a huge hole in the side of my house, so that's why we usually do it ourselves. Another note is that we're not actually connecting this piping to the firebox right now. We're going to wait till the gas piping is run and make sure we don't need to pull this firebox in and out for any reason for them. Thanks for building with us today. We really appreciate it. So make sure to smash that subscribe button and punch that notification bell. Actually, that's what my son just told me I should say.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, thanks for building with us.
Time for dinner.
Okay. See you next time.